Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining me in tonight's video. I pray that you receive this message well and that it helps you on your journey walking with Christ. I have everything I want to say written down, so hopefully I can manage my time and not have such a long video. So I wanted to answer a very common faith-related question tonight, and that is, if there is a God and he is so good and powerful, why is there so much suffering in the world? That's a pretty deep question, so let's unpack it. I'm going to start off, there's 4 points. Point number 1 is that God did not create evil. Evil is the absence of God. It is anything that contradicts God's holiness. It is a lack of goodness. Suffering and evil were not a part of God's original design. And in Genesis, God made everything good. You can see that if you go to Genesis 1. Well, Genesis 1:31. However, sin came into the world as a result of free will and human choice. Brokenness, pain, sickness, injustice, suffering, and death, those all come with sin. It is a result of living in a fallen world. Point number 2 is God gives us free will. God could have made us obey him and love him and walk in an orderly fashion and have no choice but to make the right choice. He could have taken our free will away, but that's not love, and God is love. With love comes freedom. We have the freedom to choose what choices we will make, good or bad. And the suffering in this world is caused by those human choices. Point number 3, God moves and works through suffering, heartache, and pain. Romans 8:28 reads, "And we know that God causes everything to work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to his purpose for them." God takes what the enemy meant for evil and he turns it around for good. God doesn't waste time. God doesn't waste suffering. He refines us and brings out patience, understanding, sympathy, endurance, character, and it draws us closer to him. My last point, God understands your suffering. God isn't just seated on a throne far away, shaking his head apathetically. He chose to go first, suffer first, and sacrifice Jesus and allow him to suffer and experience pain, heartache, and injustice, beaten and persecuted for things that he didn't even do. Jesus took the pain onto himself so that we could be redeemed. You're not alone in your suffering. Bad things happen to good people, but it happened to Jesus himself first. The perfect, holy, blameless man got treated beyond bad. And sometimes when bad things happen to good people, or when bad things happen to ourselves, we tend to get bitter and angry and resentful, especially if we've been served injustice. We get angry and we want to blame somebody, and that somebody ends up being God. But not God. Because even after being beaten, tortured, and hung, he still had mercy in his eyes and love in his heart. He didn't despise the cross. He didn't despise us. Even after the injustice of taking the punishment for things he didn't do, he saw those people laughing at him. He felt their spit on his face. He heard them mocking him. They disrespected him. They tortured him. They beat him. Yet he still uttered the words, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." That is the God that loves you. So, the last thing I want to say is that I understand and I don't deny that there is trouble, and there's heartache, and there's injustice, and there's pain, and there's much suffering, many of which we will never understand. But as clear and obvious as it is that evil resides on this earth, so is the evidence that there is a loving, pure, and holy God, and his goodness is just as real as the bad. We live in a broken, fallen, sinful world, but God is still good, the God that provides peace, love, hope, strength. And my encouragement verse is John 16:33 that reads, "In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world." Thank you for listening to me, and thank you for listening to God tonight and reading the Bible with me. Have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow.